They had it all: the flawless smiles, the dream vacations, the picture-perfect love story. But behind closed doors, their world was hiding a dark, sinister secret. A secret so shocking, it would unravel everything they built. James and Olivia Harper were the couple everyone envied. Married for 8 years, they'd crafted a life straight out of a luxury magazine. James, a 38-year-old investment banker with a corner office at Sterling & Crown, was the epitome of sophistication: tailored suits, a Rolex gleaming on his wrist, and a smile that could charm a roomful of skeptics. Olivia, 34, was the nurturing counterbalance, a third-grade teacher at Willowbrook Elementary, where her classroom buzzed with creativity and her students adored her. Together, they hosted dinner parties in their Georgian-style mansion in the suburbs of Boston. Their Instagram feeds a highlight reel of ski trips to Aspen, yacht excursions in the Mediterranean, and charity galas where they danced under crystal chandeliers. Their love story began at Harvard, where James, a finance major, swept Olivia, a literature student with a passion for Victorian poetry, off her feet during a campus art fair. It was like a rom-com, Olivia later told friends. He quoted Keats to me while buying a painting I'd admired. I was smitten. They married 2 years later in a ceremony at the Boston Public Garden, with James tearfully vowing, "You're my always." But perfection, as their story would reveal, was a meticulously painted mask. By 2022, subtle fissures began to surface. Olivia, once the life of social gatherings, grew quieter. She stopped posting on social media, her last update a cryptic sunset photo captioned, "When the lights fade." Friends noticed her skipping book club meetings, her hands trembling during coffee dates. She'd zone out mid-conversation, said Clara, her best friend since college. I asked if everything was okay, and she just said, "James is working late again." James's absences grew more frequent. He'd leave the house at 5 a.m., claiming early meetings, and return after midnight, smelling of cologne that didn't match his usual Tom Ford. Neighbors whispered about the black SUV that idled outside their home at odd hours. One night, I saw Olivia pacing the driveway in her robe, recalled Mr. Thompson, who lived next door. She was clutching her phone like it was a lifeline. Then came the letters. The first arrived in March 2023, slipped under their front door. Typed in courier font, it read, "He's not who you think. Check the Cayman account." Olivia burned it in the fireplace, dismissing it as a prank. But 2 weeks later, another appeared. Ask him about the Waldorf trip. The truth is in the details. This time, she Googled Waldorf Astoria plus James Harper and found a 2019 guestbook entry with his signature, and a woman named Lila Voss listed beside him. Paranoia set in. Olivia installed a tracker on James's car, discovered later, deleted, rifled through his study, and found a keycard labeled Unit 12B in his sock drawer. When she confronted him, he laughed. "It's for a storage unit. Golf clubs, baby. You know I hate clutter." But on October 30th, after James left for a business trip to Zurich, Olivia drove to the address on the keycard, a grimy self-storage facility in Chelsea. Unit 12B's padlock clicked open, and she stepped into a nightmare. The storage unit was a shrine to deception. Shelves overflowed with stacks of euros, dollars, and Swiss francs, millions in unmarked bills. Fake passports bore James's face but different names: Jonathan Price, Michael Carter, Ethan Cole. A corkboard displayed surveillance photos of Olivia, her morning jog route, her classroom, even her sister's home in Vermont, all dated and annotated. Beneath them lay a dossier on her: bank statements, social security number, a forged death certificate. But the laptop was the final blow. Olivia's trembling hands opened a folder labeled Project Phoenix. Emails detailed a Ponzi scheme targeting retirees, offshore shell companies, and a hit list of persons of interest for blackmail. A video file showed James in a dimly lit room, coaching a man on forging documents. "You're untouchable," he said in the recording. "As long as the money flows, they'll never look twice." She collapsed against a crate, nausea rising. The man she'd loved was a ghost, a con artist who'd married her to launder money and vanish. The Cayman account? A slush fund? The Waldorf trip? A rendezvous with Lila Voss, an Interpol agent tracking him for a decade. Her phone buzzed, a text from James: "Missing you. Dinner when I'm back." Olivia fled, clutching a passport, and dialed the FBI. The FBI raid on James's office, a dummy suite in downtown Boston, made headlines. Agents seized servers, encrypted devices, and a ledger implicating high-profile investors. James was arrested at JFK Airport, disguised as a priest, a carry-on stuffed with diamonds. Social media erupted. Harper scam trended as users dissected Olivia's role. "She had to know," raged one post. "No way she's innocent." Others defended her. "She's a victim too. How could she see this?" The trial was a circus. Prosecutors revealed James had stolen $25 million, ruined 12 families, and evaded capture for 15 years. Olivia testified, her voice breaking as she described finding Unit 12B. "I loved a lie," she whispered. James smirked through proceedings, winking at reporters. His attorney argued entrepreneurial zeal, but the jury convicted him on all counts. Sentencing day, he turned to Olivia. "You were supposed to be my legacy," he sneered. But the trial was just the beginning. As James sat in prison awaiting his sentencing, authorities discovered offshore accounts linked to his alias, funneling money through shell companies. A deeper web of corruption unraveled, exposing connections to powerful figures who had unknowingly or willingly been part of his scheme. Journalists uncovered emails between James and a Swiss banker, revealing his plan to flee to South America. "Wire the final transfer before I board," he had written just hours before his arrest. The banker was later investigated, leading to a series of financial scandals shaking the elite investment world. Meanwhile, Olivia faced her own battles. Investigators combed through her financial records, questioning whether she had unknowingly benefited from James's crimes. While she was never charged, the stigma followed her. Parents at her school demanded she be fired. Tabloids labeled her the wife who knew too much. Determined to reclaim her life, Olivia filed for divorce, legally distanced herself from James, and disappeared from the public eye. But moving on wasn't easy. Private investigators hired by former investors of James tracked her down, hoping to recover missing assets. Anonymous threats flooded her inbox. She changed her name and relocated, hoping for peace. But James wasn't done. From prison, he sent her letters, twisted love notes reminiscing about their past, cryptic messages hinting at secrets still buried. "You'll always be part of me," one letter read. Authorities intercepted most of them, but Olivia knew he was trying to manipulate her one last time. On the day of James's sentencing, The courtroom was silent as the judge delivered a scathing rebuke. "Your crimes were not just financial, they destroyed lives," she declared before sentencing him to 25 years without parole. Olivia exhaled, finally free. Months later, she received one final letter. It contained only a single line, "You were my greatest con." Olivia relocated to a coastal town in Maine, teaching under a new name. She volunteers at a women's shelter, helping others escape toxic relationships. "Trust is earned," she tells newcomers, "not given." The Harper's Tale is a modern noir, a reminder that monsters wear bespoke suits and love can be a long con. James rots in a Colorado penitentiary, rumored to be drafting a memoir. Olivia, now 37, hikes rocky cliffs each dawn, her face turned to the sun. She has spent years piecing together the fragments of her past. The betrayal, the manipulation, the public scrutiny, it all left scars, both visible and unseen. For a time, she struggled with the crushing weight of guilt. How could she not have seen the signs? How could she have been so blind to the lies? Therapy helped. So did distance. But the whispers never completely stopped. Every so often, an email would arrive, a news article about James's appeal, or a journalist seeking an exclusive interview. She ignored them all. The memoir rumors unsettled her the most. James had always been a master storyteller, charming, persuasive, capable of weaving half-truths into gripping narratives. What version of their life would he tell? And more importantly, would people believe him? She wasn't naive. Even in prison, James wielded influence. Some still saw him as a genius undone by ambition rather than a predator who left devastation in his wake. That's why Olivia had refused every book deal, every interview request, until now. The world had heard his lies. Now, it was time for her truth to be told. But the question lingers, how many perfect couples are hiding in plain sight? What would you do if your loved one's secret threatened to destroy everything? Share your thoughts below, and subscribe for more true crime deep dives. And remember, sometimes the deadliest lies are the ones we tell ourselves. Like, comment, share. The truth is waiting.